him on his podcast, the Amazing Colossal Podcast, and you can catch him on Hulu in his documentary, which is fantastic. You're going to see that. Folks, put your hands together for Gilbert Gottfried, ladies and gentlemen. Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, that's our show for tonight. You came to see me, you saw me, get out. Well, look, I don't want to be here any more than you do, so let me barrel through this so we can all get the hell out. I'm not even going to do the whole jokes. I'll do the setups, and you could pretty much figure out. Like, did this ever happen to you? Yeah, it happened.
Yeah! I bet it did.
Say, how many times does this happen? A lot.
So many.
Boy, men and women, how they're different. Yeah. And then on the way home, you'll be going, boy, was he good. That men and women, huh? Did you know they were different? I didn't. Boy, I sure wish I had a car right now. But you're a great crowd, and I'd like to take you all home with me. And yeah, I'd like to take you all home with me, and I'd like to hang you upside down naked from my ceiling. And then while you hang there, I'd like to walk past you and smack you. I'd like to hang you naked and smack you, which I know sounds like a law firm. Hello, hang you naked and smack you. And I wouldn't smack you in any particular order either. I would walk by 10 of you and then go back and smack the third one. And so you'd be hanging there going, I don't mind hanging here naked, and I don't mind being smacked. It's the not knowing when. And then I'd like to smear cheese all over you. Not even a good cheese. Be that kind of cheese you find only at parties. The kind of cheese where you didn't eat all day because you thought there'd be food at the party. You had a million opportunities to eat, you turned them all down. It's like everyone was offering you food. It's like, hey, you want to join us for breakfast? No, going to a party. There's going to be so much food there. Well, how about a piece of toast? I can't. I don't want any. Well, how about if I take this raisin and I cut it in half and I take a bite out of it and you just eat what's dangling from my thumbnail? No, that's too much. Then you get to the party and you're dizzy from not eating. You're looking desperately for food, and there in the middle of the room is one table with a wedge of cheese. And it's soft and yellow on the inside and hard black wax on the, and you're never sure if you should eat the hard black wax. Figure maybe I'll eat the soft yellow part and kind of play with the hard black wax. But then you run the risk someone will see and go, "Hey, what's that in your hand?" "He's playing with the hard black wax." Or you could eat the hard black wax. Then you run the risk people will go, "Someone over there's eating the hard black wax." But without getting too mushy right now, being up here, this is what makes it all worthwhile. Anything I go through, this makes it all worthwhile. Looking at each and every one of you, knowing in another hour or so none of you will be here, it makes it all worthwhile. Knowing at least one of you might get into a really serious car accident, it makes it all worthwhile. Knowing when you get home tonight there could be a guy hiding in the closet with an axe makes it all worthwhile. And afterwards your street will be cautioned off with yellow police tape. And the grizzled old police detective will be there going, "In my 70 years on the force, I've never seen anything like that. 2 days away from my retirement." But you're a dynamite audience, you're a dynamite crowd. And I mean dynamite in a literal sense of the word, as something that could explode and cripple or kill a person. You're a dynamite crowd. You're like an ice pick through the skull kind of You're like a big black rusted crowbar embedded in the eye socket. And you're there going, "Why did it have to be a rusted crowbar? Couldn't they have shoved a brand new crowbar?" But it's and there's a midget jumping up and down on it. Billy Barty is on it. And while he's jumping up and down, Gary Coleman comes walking down the street. And Billy goes, "Gary, get on up here." And Gary says, "Okay." Well, actually goes, "Okay." And now the two of them are holding hands, jumping up and down. And then Hervé Villachez comes walking by. And they go, "Hervé, get on up." And he's like, "Okay. You asked for me on top of the curb. It takes me a long time to get to the top of the curb." And now all three of them. And then that short, disgusting woman with the squeaky voice from Poltergeist. And she climbs up there. And she's wearing a skirt. And you don't want to look up a midget skirt. You're just going to have to take my word for this. You don't want to look up a midget skirt. I mean, you think their faces look weird. You really don't want to look up a midget skirt. Now, I know what you're all saying right now. Who is he to tell me I can't look up a midget's skirt? Well, I wouldn't try to stop you. I'm just saying I look askance at that activity. That's an activity I look askance at. If I caught you doing it, I would give you my askance look. I'd go... 'Cause I hate midgets. I always hated midgets. Whenever I get on an airplane, my biggest fear is that the stewardess is gonna go, "Oh, your seat's right over there, right next to that midget. The one that's sitting on the phone book to look out the window." Then you gotta sit there the whole time making midget conversation with them. In other words, small talk. Like, can I use you for a flotation device? 'Cause I hate midgets. Sometimes when I'm walking down the street, if I see a midget, I'll just walk over and punch him. Sometimes you get one of those midgets, you punch him, he falls down and bounces right back up. And then he starts trying to make a run for it. And I'm right behind him going, "Here, see how much longer my legs are?" And then he starts speeding up. And it's like, "Look, taking my time." And then he's running as fast as he can go. And it's like, "Hey, look, I'm making brownies now." 'Cause I hate midgets. I'll be honest with you, I do not accept midgets as people. Now, I know people come in all shapes and sizes, but there's gotta be a cutoff point. And, you know, when I see a midget, it's like when you watch TV and they'll have a monkey in a suit and tie, and you go, "Yeah, it looks like a person, but I know it's not." And I'm fine with them in the circus. If they'd stay in the circus where they belong, I'd have no trouble. It's when they think they could walk among polite society. You don't see clowns walking down the street. They know they don't belong. And look, I'm as politically correct as the next guy.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
I mean, I'll accept other ethnic groups, except, well, the Mexicans I'm still on the fence about. You know, I was reading somewhere that they said they found out that Hitler had a grandson who was a convicted child molester. Imagine being the embarrassment to the Hitler family. Is there anything sadder in the world than to be the Hitler who the other Hitlers don't talk about? I just got through reading Mackenzie Phillips' autobiography. In Mackenzie Phillips' autobiography, she says when she was a little girl, her father would climb into bed with her every night and have sex with her. This, to me, was mind-boggling. I can't get my daughter to hold my hand we cross the street. Trucks and buses are whizzing past, and she's pulling away from me, and this guy's nailing his daughter every night. I don't know how he does it. I figure he just has more confidence than I do. And I'm not saying I want my daughter to have sex with me. I just want her to know that Barbie Dream House wasn't free. You could show some appreciation. Let me tell you, when I was a little boy, if my father bought me a baseball, I would have made out with him. And I don't want to tell you what I would have done with him for a G.I. Joe. 'Cause I always wanted a G.I. Joe. I always felt like I looked like G.I. Joe. I don't mean a handsome face and muscular body, but without our pants on, we look exactly. But I don't want to brag right now, but I once posed nude for Playgirl magazine. You don't see anything, my thumb was in the way. You know, I'm self-employed. Ever since I became self-employed, I can honestly say my boss is a no-good Jew bastard. I like when people make a bigoted comment, but they get the character traits mixed up. It's like, oh, those goddamn Italians. They're always trying to Jew you out of your money. I like when someone makes an anti-Semitic comment and goes, hey, I didn't mean it that way. I know several cheap, hook-nosed Irish people, too. I just saw Liam Neeson's latest film. It's his 50th film where his daughter gets kidnapped. You know, the actress Hilary Swank from $1 Million Baby and Boys Don't Cry, she is not only an Academy Award-winning actress, but she took extensive training in CPR. And this is true. One time a man was having a seizure in the street, and Hilary Swank ran over and performed CPR on him. And he died. And ever since that happened, I walk around with a medical bracelet that says, in case of emergency, keep Hilary Swank the fuck away from it. You know, everything that I know about autism, I learned from Jenny McCarthy. Jenny McCarthy is the one who taught me that childhood vaccinations cause autism. So I didn't have either one of my kids vaccinated, and I'm happy to say that neither one of them is autistic. Both of them have polio. So you gotta take the good with the bad. I hate the Amish people. I've always hated the Amish. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't have sex, and they don't talk on the phone. Of course they don't talk on the phone. There's nothing for them to talk about. You don't drink or have sex. Who you in a big hurry to brag to? It's like, guess what? I didn't have sex at all last night. You animal. See, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't have... I want to know how the Amish people plan their days. It's like, so, what do you want to do tomorrow? Gee, I don't know. Let's stand by the roadside and frown. We'll get up at 2 in the morning, and whenever someone goes by, we'll go... Of course, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't have sex, they don't do anything. Unless, of course, Harrison Ford stops by. Harrison Ford comes by, their whole culture flies out the window. It's like, it's Harrison Ford, let's have an orgy. Harrison Ford has that effect on people. Harrison Ford could show up in India, and after 2 minutes they go, it's Harrison Ford, let's kill a cow. I always hated those cows anyway. We're starving to death, and there are cows walking around. And let's get these damn dots off our heads. It's like having a glue-on pimple. How'd you get that pimple? You eat a lot of chocolate? I don't eat anything. Everybody else was wearing them. It's like, you know, somebody showed up in India a few thousand years ago and said, hey, watch this. Just once, I'd like to hear a black person say, today I got on the elevator, there was a Jew standing there. I got so scared. I got on the elevator, doors closed, I see a Jew there. I don't even think he lived in the building. Bob Dylan talking to Floyd the Barber from the old Andy Griffith Show. Hello, Floyd. Hello, Bob. How are you? Floyd. I'm fine. Would you give me a haircut, Floyd? Right away. Would you trim the sideburns, Floyd? Wait a minute. Bob Dylan talking to Floyd the Barber in the season after he had a stroke. Hello, Floyd.
Oh, fuck.
Yosemite Sam, when he's been chasing Bugs Bunny, and he chases him off the edge of a cliff, and he's standing in midair laughing triumphantly until he realizes he's standing in midair about to fall. Yosemite Bob Dylan, when he's been chasing Bugs Bunny, and he chases him off the edge of a cliff, and he's standing laughing triumphantly until he realizes he's standing in midair about to fall. A couple of years ago, I was talking to Herman Melville, and he said, I'm writing a book called Moby Dick. It's about a guy on a boat. Do you think it needs something? And I said, offhand, a whale. I said, put a whale in it. And he goes, what does it need a whale? I said, I don't know. Put in a whale and a one-legged sea captain. And he goes, how did the sea captain lose his leg? And I go, I don't know. The whale bit it off. And he goes, so what? You're telling me it's a tiny little sea captain falls into the ocean and a gigantic whale with an enormous mouth swims up to him, turns his giant head off to the side, looks out of the corner of his eye, and leans in and he nips a leg off. He just nipped with these little teeth here. He nips here's a sea captain the size of a Rice Krispie, and he falls in the ocean, and a whale with a mouth the size of LaGuardia Airport swims up, turns his Rhode Island-sized head off to the side, and he nips a leg. I guess he just wasn't hungry that day. And how does he live after that? And I go, I don't know, the other sailors save him. So he goes, so like you're telling me, it's a sea captain the size of a tic-tac, falls in the ocean, a whale bites his leg off, and a group of sailors who don't have a kindergarten education perform microsurgery and save his life. And they go, well, it might need to be tightened up. Now, here's something that I kept secret about for years, because it still shames me, but I finally have the courage to talk about it. Years ago, when we were filming Problem Child, that little kid kept grabbing my dick. And I didn't say anything at the time because I was intimidated. And he threatened he'd ruin my career. And he did. He Caspian problem child, too. So the audience sat there and waited. The days turned into weeks. Let's turn to the Old Testament. If you have the Old Testament at home, if you flip the corner pages, you could see Jesus riding a horse. And you could make it look like he's going backwards. And on the other side, there's a fat lady with a hula hoop. And she was good. Had the fat lady with the hula hoop gotten better management, today you'd wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, stub your toe, and go, "Ah, fat lady with a hula hoop." You know, I always felt sorry for Jesus, because no matter what he did, he could never live up to his Father. You figure if your Father created the entire universe, what are you going to do that's that impressive? So Jesus would gather crowds together and go, "I grant you all salvation." And they'd all look at him and go, "Yeah, that's nice. So how's your father doing? Good?" At the Last Supper, how come no one sat at the other side of the table? Don't you think Christ would have said, "Hey, can you move your plate over there?" See, I think originally there were people on the other side of the table, but those were the ones going, "You know, the air conditioner hits me right in the back of the neck." It's just as well there weren't people on the other side of the table. It would have looked stupid in the paintings to have people there like this. You know, once when I was at life's lowest ebb, and I felt like no one would ever love or accept me, I checked into a motel room in the middle of nowhere, and I was about to end it all, when all of a sudden there was a glow of light, and I looked up and Christ stood over me like this, and I looked up at him, and he looked down at me, and finally he spoke and said, "Gilbert, am I fat?" And I said, "I don't know. Turn around." Then I looked in his eyes and I went, "Jesus." And he went, "Please, jeez." He likes to be called Jeez. His friends call him G's. On his license plate, it's a bunch of little G's in a row. That way, when you stop behind him, you go, "G, G, 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 oh, geez." I don't know who Christ has on his dashboard. He can't put himself there because it's obnoxious. It's like, "Hey, know what that is?" And I said, "Geez, Jeezy, I feel like no one will ever accept me." And Jesus looked at me and said, "Hey, you know what my feeling is? Accept me or go to hell." Then he grabbed my head and gave me some noogies. Then he said, "Well, I'm going to be leaving now, and I might not be back for another 1,000,000 years. You want me to do anything like end war? And I said, no, you're a guest. Get out of here. Go. And take a piece of cake with you. Take a piece of cake. I can't eat so much cake. I'll wrap it up. You'll have it tomorrow. This whole show is being taped. Oh, what's he gonna do with that tape? Maybe he'll tape his mouth shut. We can only pray. Damn it, he missed. Don't worry, he's got more tape. If he tapes his mouth shut, we can glue his nostrils together. Then he'll try to talk and his head will explode. We did that to Wayne Newton in Vegas. Swanee, how I love you, my dear Swanee. Let's talk about fried chicken. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. This is the end of your Flash Gordon. Hulk Hogan.
Well, you're a lovely couple, but now it's time to play You Bet Your Life.
I could have been a contender, Charlie. Yeah, if you didn't have tape on your eyes. Microphones go off to war. Today you are a microphone. Is 13 years of age old enough to bear the responsibility? Let us all stand and read from page 106. He said unto her as her to him, as him to her, as she to them, as them to him and him to her. I am the Eggman. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Okay.
Ich nasische Radela, macht nasische die. Join in if you know the word. And my girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. You know, whenever someone asks me what's my favorite part of the refrigerator, And boy, if I had a nickel for every time I got. You know, I like cleaning my refrigerator. I like that feeling of power, deciding what food stays and what food goes. Where you stand there going, gee, you could still probably use that lettuce. It's not totally liquid yet. I like lettuce you can eat with a spoon. I like the kind of lettuce when you're making a sandwich, you put the bread out and you spread the lettuce.
No.
And I like the celery you can lasso. And it's always important to hold on to that half a cucumber for another month or so. Because you know as well as I do, all you got to do is cover the open end with some aluminum foil. The vegetable has no idea it's been cut in half. It could stay there for a year, going, gee, when are they going to use me? But if I had to pick my favorite part of the refrigerator, it would have to be the butter door. I like the idea that butter has its own apartment. He's got its name on the door, every other food shoved in together, and butter gets ushered up to the VIP room. And, you know, no other food can go in there. It's like, hi, I'm broccoli. I'm sorry your name's not on the list. It's just a shame that people don't put butter in the butter door. You don't even put margarine in the butter. The only reason you have a butter door is to keep those little packets of Chinese mustard.
That's what's in it right now.
Because you can't throw those things away. They could stay there for a year. You know, it's like, and you got to be careful when you get a new one, opening the door, because the old ones are trying to escape. And, you know, you can't toss those out, because you don't know. One day you'll be following a recipe that calls for 2 eggs, a cup of milk, and 50,000 packets of Chinese mustard. And, you know, when you go to a Chinese steakhouse place, you're not fooling them. It's like, yeah, I'd like the shrimp lo mein, pork fried rice, and can you throw in some packets of Chinese mustard? Why you want a jalamoso for? What you gonna do with a jalamoso? Every time you come in there, you take a jalamoso. I know you're gonna put in butter door. I also like those packets of duck sauce. Because the packets of duck sauce always have one solid piece in them. And I like to squeeze it in the pack, and it just squirts to the other end. I catch it there. Before video games were invented, the Chinese would play with these for hours. Michael Douglas said recently that he thinks he may have gotten throat cancer from performing oral sex on his wife. I don't know. I think cancer is a small price to pay to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. would take any form of cancer to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. I would gladly get Parkinson's disease to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. You could give me a combination of the Ebola virus and Lou Gehrig's disease to lick Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy. You could give me a form of muscular dystrophy so powerful that while I'm licking Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy, Jerry Lewis pops out. You know, one person I'm sick and tired of everybody attacking, and that's Bill Cosby. Because I worked on 2 of his shows, and I would watch him, and not only would he be acting in it, but he'd be directing each scene and saying where every light and camera should be. And in the midst of all of this, he would turn to me and ask how I was feeling. And one time I said I had a headache. And I woke up the next morning. With my pants around my ankles. But I'll never forget what he said to me right before I passed out. He said, You know, I attended the O.J. Simpson parole hearings. And I remember the judge said at one point to O.J., says, "Do you think you're ready to leave prison?" And he said, "Are you kidding? I'd kill to get out of here." But I'm glad O.J. will be reunited with his kids, because I think O.J. would make a great father. When O.J. tells you to do your homework, you do it.
That's right.
Average parent goes, "Do your homework, I'll do it later." O.J. says, "Do your homework," and it's like, "Yeah, but I'm doing next year's homework too." Average parent goes, "Clean your room, I'll clean it tomorrow." O.J. says, "Clean your room," and it's like, "Yeah, and I'm building a sun deck." That's building a sun deck. See, I do extensive work with deaf audiences, And that's their sign for building a sun deck. Sometimes Marley Macklin comes to my shows, and I'll forget, and I'll go building a sun deck, and you go,
I don't know.
and I'll go, oh, building a sun. Mickey Mouse on acid. Oh, God, I'm freaking out. A cannibal from every old jungle film. A midget putting a dime in a payphone. The dog from the Little Rascals. You know, years ago, I saw Natalie Portman on Broadway. That is the only time I've ever jerked off to a production of The Diary of Anne Frank. I've jerked off several times to Hal Holbrook as Mark Twain. But I mean, who hasn't?
No, Jesus.
He's Hal Holbrook, for God's sakes. You know, I've been taking a self-defense course. A lot of my friends say when you're mugged in real life, it's not like your self-defense course. Well, last night I was walking home late, and two muggers jumped me and said, okay, we want you to put most of your weight on your right leg. We'll do it a few times. How did they come up with the holiday of Easter? We need a holiday for when Christ returns to the earth. I got it. A rabbit. Have you even been paid? Yeah, a rabbit. He's a rabbit with a basket of eggs. Well, how can he hold a basket? He's got little paws. No, he's got human hands. He's a mutant freak of nature rabbit. Now, I'd like to do some jokes off my Dirty Joke DVD. A guy goes to a doctor. He says, doctor, I don't know if my wife has TB or VD. Doctor says, chase her around the bed. If she coughs, fuck her. An old man goes to the doctor examines him. He says, old man, I've got bad news. You've got cancer and you've got Alzheimer's. The old man goes, thank God I don't have cancer. A guy goes to the doctor prescribes suppositories. The man comes back a few days later, goes, doctor, these suppositories ain't doing a damn thing. The doctor says, are you sure you're taking them the right way? He goes, of course I'm taking them the right way. What do you think I'm doing? Shoving them up my ass? An old Jewish man is walking down the road. He finds a lamp. He picks it up. He rubs the lamp. A genie pops out. The genie says, I shall grant you one wish. The old Jewish man takes out a crumpled up map. He unfolds the map. He goes, you see this part of the world? It's called the Middle East. There's been nothing but war and bloodshed there for centuries. I wish for you to bring peace to this part of the world. The genie goes, even with all my power, I'm helpless. Can I grant you a different wish? So the old Jew thinks, and he goes, I've been married to the same Jewish girl for over 50 years. Never once had she given me a blowjob. I wish you could get her just once before I die to give me one blowjob. And the genie goes, can I have another look at that map?
Yeah, what a bunch of fuck you even hear that, asshole? Fuck out of here,
A man walks over to his wife. He gives her 2 aspirins and a glass of water. She says, what's this for? I don't have a headache. He goes, good, let's fuck. A man has the words, I love you, tattooed to his dick. He goes home to his wife. His wife says, stop trying to put words in my mouth. An armless, legless girl is lying on the beach crying. A man walks over and goes, what are you crying about? The armless, legless girl says, I'm crying because in my whole life I've never been kissed. So he kneels down and kisses her. Then he starts to walk away. Now the armless, legless girl is crying twice as hard. He goes, what are you crying about now? She goes, I'm crying because in my whole life I've never been fucked. So he picks her up, tosses her in the ocean, goes, you fucked now! It's a guy's first day in prison. He's scared and crying. An older convict walks over and goes, kid, take it easy. Prison life is great. And he goes, it is? He goes, yeah, let me ask you something. Do you like Italian food? He goes, yeah, it's okay. He goes, every Monday in the kitchen we cook a giant Italian dinner. And you like movies? He goes, yeah, I like movies. Every Tuesday in the auditorium, brand new movies. And you like baseball? He goes, I love baseball. Every Wednesday in the yard, we have a giant baseball game. And are you a homosexual? And he goes, no. And he goes, whoo, you're not going to like Thursday. A hunter is in the woods. He spots a bear, picks up his rifle, fires at the bear. The bear growls, knocks the hunter to the ground, turns him over, and fucks him in the ass. As bears are so prone to do. Well, the hunter comes back the next day with a machine gun, sees the bear, opens fire on the bear. The bear growls, knocks the hunter to the ground, turns him over, and fucks him in the ass again. Well, now he's really angry. 'Cause the first time you're willing to let it go. So the hunter comes back the next day with a cannon, sees the bear, fires the cannon. The bear growls, knocks the hunter to the ground, turns him over, and says, "Something tells me you're not just coming here to hunt." A man gets a call at work. They say, "This is the hospital. Your wife's been in a horrible car accident." The man rushes to the hospital. The doctor comes out and goes, "Sir, your wife was in a terrible car accident. She's badly mangled and deformed. She's going to remain paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of her life. She'll need 24-hour medical care, of which your insurance company is not going to cover. You're going to have to bathe her and feed her, rub ointment on her bed sores, and you're going to have to change her diapers, 'cause she'll have no control over her bladder or her bowels." And the man breaks down crying. He goes, "Oh, this is horrible." And the doctor goes, "I'm just fucking with you. She's dead." A guy's in a bar. He gets so drunk he pukes all over his shirt. He goes up to the bartender, goes, you know, "and my wife finds out I got so drunk I puked on my shirt, she'll kill me." Bartender goes, "Don't worry, here's a little trick. Take a $10 bill, slip it in your pocket, go home to your wife, say some other guy got drunk, he puked on your shirt, and he gave you $10 to have it clean." And he goes, "All right, I'll try that." So he goes up to the bar, he goes to his wife, and he goes, "Honey, some guy at the bar got so drunk, he puked on my shirt, but he gave me $10 to have it clean." And the wife goes, "This is a 20. And he goes, "I forgot to tell you, he also shit in my pants." Two missionaries get caught by a primitive tribe in the jungle. The jungle leader says, "All right, you've been trespassing on our land. You have a choice between death or ugu." And first missionary goes, "I choose ugu." And he goes, "and ugu it is." And they rip his clothes off, and they all start fucking him. And they're fucking him in the mouth and in the ass, and they're jerking off all over him, and they're pissing on him, and then they fuck him in the ass again, and in the mouth and in the ass, and then they're jerking off and pissing and shitting on him, and then they break for lunch and come back, and they fuck him in the mouth and in the ass, and then they finally stop, and they turn to the other missionary, and they go, "Now you have your choice, death or ugu." And he goes, "I choose death." And the tribal leader goes, "Then death it is. But first, ugu." An old woman bank employee is sitting behind her desk at the bank with the glasses at the end of her nose and her hair in a bun. And finally a man enters the bank and stands in front of her desk. She looks up, she goes, "May I help you, sir?" And he goes, "Yeah, want to open a fucking bank account." She goes, "What did you say?" He goes, "I want to open a fucking bank account." She goes, "You better watch your language or I'll bring the bank manager over." And he goes, "Bring the bank manager over. I want to open a fucking bank account." So she gets the bank manager. Bank manager gets right in the man's face and goes, "So, what seems to be the trouble here, sir?" And the man goes, "The trouble is, I want to open a fucking bank account for $800,000. And the bank manager goes, "Oh, and is this cunt giving you a hard time?" Thank you, good night.